This is BOBcast.
BuffaloBrotherhood.com.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Buffalo Brotherhood podcast. This is the BOBcast, episode 92. Almost at 82.
92.
Almost went back in time. I am Ryan. Alongside me, as always, is
Mike.
And across the table from him is
Doug.
And returning, probably the least amount of shows between a friend of the show's first appearance to the return appearance, Mr. Doug Fan. Hi, Doug. How's it going?
Great.
Thanks
for having me back.
All right. Actually, we ended the last time we recorded. We all went to see Star Wars. We come back, and Doug was still here, so we're like, sure, come on in. Come on in, no problem. I don't know. Star Wars happened. We did a whole episode about Star Wars.
We did.
Right.
We're going to talk a little bit about Star Wars probably in this episode, and then we're going to talk more about Star Wars in the next episode as we look at our prop bets. 2 weeks before Star Wars came out, we sat down and Mr. Doug was here for us. Sorry, that's weird. Doug came for that, and we recorded down our prop bets in our BOBcast Star Wars episode 7 Biblioteca, whatever. That's all right. And
Library?
I wrote it down. And
Isn't that what that is?
I don't know. To me, it sounded like Bible. I was like, I'm going to say Spanish for Bible. And I was like, that's probably not right. So I moved on.
I think Spanish for Bible is Bible.
Probably.
El Bible.
L-B-I-B-L-E.
Spanish for the Nino.
We can thank for our lovely weather we've been having.
Yeah.
It has been a long time. It feels like it's been a long time since we recorded, but it was honestly, and Mike and I talked a little bit about it over Christmas break. It was kind of nice. It was really nice. I was sad not to be in all your guys' ear holes for almost a month, but it was kind of nice as a podcaster to recharge and not feel like, okay, how are we going to come at the same thing from a different direction again? And just sort of allow things to sort of move on without us.
It was nice to have the break, but I'm happy to be back.
Exactly. That's what I was trying to say. You just was able to say it much more succinctly.
Normally.
Than I am.
That's normally how it works out.
So, but Christmas did occur. Did everybody have a good Christmas?
It did.
Yeah.
It did happen.
Not too shabby.
Not too shabby. New Year's. Are we all good? Good?
Had fun.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Boxing
blast.
Day. Boxing Day. Anybody?
Oh, great.
Yeah.
I
Boxed
saw,
it up.
I saw all
Boxed
the
it up.
shopping. Crazy shopping that happened.
Which is interesting. Have you done much of the reading of how the shopping sales and sort of the economy has occurred over this holiday season?
No.
It was okay. We won't talk about it at all because it's not
It's
necessarily
kind of weird for you, Doug, though. I mean,
that's sort of your
normally,
space.
That's
now.
your thing. Like,
Not only would it
Sorry,
normally
I
be his
didn't
thing,
this
but like
year.
he's in the retail space now, so you
I
think that he
am.
would be.
I am.
Well, usually it's in
For
your
us,
face
it
anyway.
was great.
Yeah, normally
yeah.
they tell us.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for us, it was fantastic. But
Okay, well, if you're watching on, we have to talk about the giant tomes that are on
These
the table.
huge books.
You
we
keep
don't have to.
No, I want to. I'm anxious. I'm curious
Okay.
to see what we're talking about. But before
Sure.
we do that, let me tell you what I got for
Okay.
Christmas. No,
I'll
I'm
send
joking.
them back. They're only 20 pounds a piece, so we get a workout here.
So if you're on the YouTube channel, you're seeing. I'm sure you've seen Doug flip them in and out there. But what do we have here? And then what are we looking
these
at?
are a few of my Christmas gifts that I received. The first we have is this is an older book. I looked at it's from 2009, but it's still cool.
Right. Almost.
Star Wars: The Complete Vader. So it's just the evolution of Vader through all of the movies.
Well,
And-
so
but
like
from New Hope through the prequels, moving chronologically. But the way that they put this book together is really neat. I mean, obviously there's all this great artwork in it, but they put these neat little like pull apart
Oh yeah, like the fold
flaps
outs and the
that have all these neat little like original copies of like original
like,
Oh, cool.
sketches and
concept.
stuff.
And there's actually that the one I was just looking at was a copy of the Lucas's handwritten script from the scene in Empire when he reveals that he's his
Spoiler.
father. So yeah, sorry, 30 years later. So yeah, so you have some
More like 35.
reproduction of some original stickers.
Oh, can I have?
I
one?
remember
Can I have
those.
one of those? to
I
stick on my-
remember having those.
Really,
Can I have one to stick on my laptop?
1977,
Do they peel off?
1983.
Can I have one?
No.
Oh, okay.
And then yeah, here's
No,
the,
they don't peel off, or no,
no,
he can't.
they do peel off. No, you can't have one.
Oh.
So
You will
that's
not
the
touch.
that's the copy of his script that he wrote.
All right.
So
That's really cool.
yeah,
I feel like if
The-
he would have started where I always tell my kids to start, he would have been able to like write that in half the paper.
well, I'm
I mean-
assuming he's writing it, like a script.
Why didn't you
treatise
Well,
just-
you
or
know,
whatever.
Why didn't you just type it up? I don't
Over-
understand it.
I know.
Overall, Star Wars has to be the most radically different from first draft to final draft script I
Oh,
think I've
yeah,
ever seen in
yeah.
my life. That
Star Killer. Or whatever.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
just
That's the original name.
insanely different.
Yeah.
Luke Star Killer.
So,
Well, that wasn't even like the very first version of it.
well, yeah, all the
Well,
storm.
they released those comics. that were supposed to
everybody
be the-
had originally. Everybody had like all the troops had laser swords,
Right.
and
Mhm.
so I mean, a lot of evolution. But,
Han was more like Chewie as far as looks go.
so
which is awesome.
anyway, that's
They
Vader.
couldn't get the suit to work on Harrison Ford.
That's cool.
The next big book, The Art of Blizzard Entertainment.
Oh, yeah.
So
Does it start with like original
yeah,
humans and
it,
orcs?
it starts back with the original. What is this? Oh, here's.
I call dibs. It's mine. I left it there.
It's for a free catalog, Ryan. There
oh,
you go.
no, thank you.
Okay. No, it starts with the artwork of Metzen, Chris Metzen, and Samwise Didier.
Ganji.
Yeah, Samwise Gamgee. Back in the day, from looks like there might be a few things from Orcs versus Humans, but most of this came from Warcraft 2, which was actually the first Warcraft game that I had played.
Tides of
Love it.
Darkness.
Yeah, Tides of Darkness, which I love that game.
Okay, so not to tie this immediately back to a Star Wars movie, but there was a Warcraft trailer before the Star
Yes.
Wars movie, and it's a Warcraft trailer that came out at BlizzCon last year, right?
Right.
Or it was just a
Or
few weeks before the
It
actual.
it
We had
came
seen it
yeah,
before
yeah.
that.
It came out BlizzCon was November.
You
So-
of the four of us here, you obviously are the more of the Blizzard.
Yeah. Aficionado.
Fanboy.
I wanted.
I'm not
That's
not
what
a
I wanted to say,
fanboy.
but it seemed derogatory in that term. I was just like scholar of the three
Sure.
or four of us.
Scholar.
Scholar. Enthusiast.
Enthusiast.
Now
I like it.
listen, we
Hobbyist.
went to the
Yeah.
extremes both ways.
well,
there.
Um, could you glean anything from the trailer about where they're actually going to tell this story?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, is it
it is
it's
basically
the Duratan story, right?
It is it's would be before Tides of Darkness, so Warcraft 2, and
Yeah.
they're basically doing the play of when the orcs come through, Duratan, who's Thrall's father, when they come through the dark portal into Lordaeron, and you have is it not Uther? The guy who's
The guy that runs
Ragnar
off
Ragnar Lothbrok, whatever that guy that plays that character from Vikings, the
Yeah.
History Channel.
the guy that runs off the
Yes,
floating
yeah.
Lordaeran without his shoes on.
Right. So he is Anduin Lothar. That's his character's name, and they're doing it it looks like they're trying to make it seem like the orcs are more peaceful, like there's
That
an
kinda bugged
element
me.
within that.
Just
Because
a little bit.
in the games, when the orcs come through, they're not. They're marauding. They're orcs. They're here to conquer
Well,
and
aren't they
destroy.
supposed to be under the influence of the Horde at that point?
I believe in the canon, I believe the way that it was, yes, that they were already under the control of the demonic blood, and when they came through, except for Duratan, I think his tribe was the only one that didn't drink the blood, and
That's why they were still
so
brown.
they were still pure.
Something
They had
about
not
the
been
color.
tainted. But anyway, so that's the time frame that it's taking place before the destruction of those kingdoms by the orcs. But who knows? They're writing a movie, so they're going to try to probably reconfigure some things for a wider
all I was
audience.
gonna and because I don't think either of neither of you probably follow like Blizzard lore very
I
much.
could care less.
No.
Okay, so I want to be respectful to your guys' time, so I won't keep at this. But it seems like a smart decision to start the story so far back when you
Right.
consider you have
Right.
Arthas sort of up your sleeve
Right.
in promising a second movie.
That's probably maybe 3 out.
You want to know what kind of bugged me about it? Just being
What's that?
coming from that outside, seeing the trailers for the games. I remember watching.
There's cool artwork though.
I remember watching the first trailer for the first game for the first World of Warcraft.
Right.
Man, that trailer was just like, I have to play this amazing game.
Right.
Like, and
I'm a little upset at how quickly we're seeing the squid face people.
I think the style.
The Draenei.
Yeah.
I think the style of the CGI should have been more like that. Like,
Well, see, Blizzard has always been great about doing fantastic CGI
yeah,
to pull you into
Right.
their games, and then of course the game itself,
graphically speaking,
graphically
is
it's
not
never
amazing,
it's
but
never going to live up to those cinematics. But they've always
Yeah.
been fantastic of trying to suck you back in,
And
to,
they do
to
it.
get you for that month or two. So they can
every
get that
time I've seen one, I'm like,
$15
man,
from
I
you.
should start playing WoW again.
Maybe this one will be different.
yeah.
Maybe this
Right.
time.
Right.
This time they'll pay me.
Hey, you can go straight to level like 100 now.
No,
Right.
So
I'm still not.
just
it's just it like when I get into games like that now, and there's just so many people in the game, I almost get like I'm in a crowded mall. I'm like, I don't even want to be here anymore. Like, go away, people.
Yeah.
Like when you get in some of those cities, and there's just tons and tons of
Well,
characters around, and they're
I-
jumping and they're driving their stupid motorcycles.
as I've said before, I think that the MMO
yeah,
as a concept and a game platform will continue to have diminishing returns until we get to the point where VR is really robust, and
Yeah.
then you'll see, I think, a resurgence of that where people can really fully lose themselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
in-
I'll renew my
in-
subscription at that point.
They can go to the Lion's Pride Inn,
Yeah.
and everybody will be upstairs having sex with the night elf, the VR night elves, so
I can't believe that Blizzard didn't buy Oculus. They couldn't beat out Facebook for that, I guess.
I don't know.
That's not Blizzard's MO. That's
So-
really not. They don't want hardware. They want software, and they want to take a tremendously long time developing it.
Right.
That's true.
So
Speaking of that, okay, not just trying to make it as topical as possible because it's before the break.
Sure.
I want to.
Did you see that Valve fired the only guy who was left on the writing staff for Half-Life 3?
No.
I did not.
Okay, all right,
That's
sorry.
I
stupid.
have no idea what you're even talking about.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's video game stuff. Okay, go ahead.
No, the work. I think because we were so hyped up on Star Wars when I originally saw the Warcraft trailer, I was just kind of like, it's just like it might be okay. But then I saw it actually in 3D, and it was much better in 3D than it was. I don't know what about it, but it just looked way better in 3D than it did in 2D. So I don't know.
It honestly is going to take a lot to get me excited about it.
I mean, I'll go see it, but I really, really hope that somebody at some point can do a good video game movie.
Is it May?
March.
I'll-
Right. March.
So if I go to the movie theater in March and Force Awakens
No,
is not
wait.
playing,
No, it got moved because of Batman versus Superman.
'Cause
It's
that's in March. That's
June.
March 16th. Isn't
I
it?
think it's in
Yeah.
June. June now. Deadpool in February. Batman versus Superman March.
Deadpool.
I
I'm
don't
glad
know.
I got a
what
Stubbs
April.
card this year because I got a feeling I'm going to use it.
It's gonna
Deadpool
get some
looks
usage.
so funny.
Uh,
So nasty funny.
I think it's gonna be disappointing to a lot of people.
yeah,
I really do.
yeah. There's a cat.
Yeah, there's a
Sorry.
few of them out there.
Oh, congratulations.
Squirrel.
So
Yeah.
anyway,
No aliens is all I care about.
that's that second book. Big
Yet.
Blizzard
I'm
always
anxious
been great.
I'm anxious to look and see some of that stuff.
Always has fantastic artwork. And then the last book, Star Wars: The Blueprints. I got this as another Christmas gift. I don't know what year this was published. I'm assuming probably within the past few
Does it say
years.
Disney anywhere on it?
No. It's
Not.
it's-
It's just gonna break my heart.
what? It's
honestly.
gonna break your heart.
It's just gonna break my heart.
2013. So just 2 years old. So, but it's still an awesome book.
What does it say Disney? I'm trying to do the math.
No, it doesn't say Disney.
Disney bought him late 2012, wasn't it?
Yeah, it may be purchased, but this book may have
Was
already
probably
been in the
finish.
and maybe Disney, do they have the rights to do
Everything.
They bought Lucasfilm. They bought all of it.
Yeah, that's true. They
The
did. Okay.
X-wing game that Mike and I are playing has Disney on its box.
I don't know a box, I guess. So
It does.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah,
good.
I don't know. So anyway, yeah, but gigantic book full of the blueprints of Star Wars.
Now, are they like
that
okay?
looks
So
awesome.
here's what I know: are they like set builders blueprints, or did somebody go
No,
and like
they're
create
just like the Star Trek stuff, like where people.
Star Trek science and Star Wars science is two totally
There.
different.
No,
things.
I'm just saying they're.
No, these are like for building. These look like the ones that they were used to actually build. You're talking about like. Let's see.
Prop,
okay, here-
prop blueprints
does it
are
say-
real.
Okay, no,
Millennium
it's an
Falcon.
artificial atmosphere ultra thermalization.
See,
Got
So
one.
they've got names of
I've been looking for a use for that.
what am I looking at? Oh, that's a snow speeder.
I just got to buy the
Um,
rest of the X-wing. I'll be set.
Yeah.
So
question on the snow speeder. Does it explain how
is
you
that the
have a
snow-
creature,
No.
a ship called
This
a
is
snow
an X-wing.
speeder,
This is an X-wing. Sorry.
but it's too cold to actually fly it?
What?
Does it have a snow speeder on there?
It may have. I'd have
Does
to
it
look.
I would
explain how it has
assume
an
it has
Arctic
a s-
vehicle that is
Does it explain how what?
okay? So Empire Strikes Back has the snow speeders
Right.
Yeah.
that are not ready yet because they haven't been able to modify them for the cold. Where do they think they're normally flying snow speeders at?
Well, I think snow speeders is kind of a nickname for them.
Do you think they're
I think they could be, an all-terrain type vehicle. I think they were just calling them snow speeders just because of the environment they were on.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe they're not used
what's
for
it called?
flying
I
in
want to know what it
space.
calls them in there.
It has to have a
What-
real name.
Let me
Now,
look.
Is there an
In the index,
May-
Ryan,
may-
let's see if
maybe
I can-
honestly, in my mind, they were always like retrofitting them to so that they could withstand the cold. Maybe they were just like packed away inside one of those giant transport ships, and they were trying to like they got to move the milk.
Well,
and
hold
then
on.
Then
They weren't
the
flying
jug
them.
is then
Here we
find
go.
out.
hold on,
Let's
hold
see
on.
here.
They weren't flying them because it was at night because it got incredibly cold at night. So
No,
then they got them
no,
out.
Snow
no, they didn't use
speeder.
them at all. That's why they had to take the Tauntauns out in the first place. because-
at night,
But Han and Luke
right?
go out on
Oh yeah, that's what
Tauntauns.
they say. That's what they say. I'm sorry.
Well,
Here
that's
we
what they
go.
do, but then he says we're having trouble adapting them to the cold after I think 3PO says the temperature is dropping rapidly.
Yeah.
So I think it was too
Snow
quickly of a
speeder.
What's it call it?
It doesn't have anything. It's
It doesn't
just
have any name
actual.
at the
These are
top?
the actual Star Wars Chapter 2 preliminary layout snow speeder sheet 1.
I think you're looking at it wrong. I think you're looking at the storyline wrong. I think that it's getting too cold for them to go out. Yeah,
It's like
Me?
Doug agrees.
it's
with
like
me.
an 82 Chevelle. You got to let it warm up for a few minutes. But you can't just start it up in sub-zero weather and just
Yes,
throw it in
right,
reverse.
Right,
you know.
right. You can't just go, man.
I'm not tearing it down. I'm not going to tear it down. It's
Plus,
fine.
you saw what they got to work with in there.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, I'm sure
They had a mailman running
it
everything.
doesn't
I mean,
have some of the. It doesn't have some of the amenities that
He was drunk. He was drunk. Go back to your stool, Cliff.
Doesn't have some of the amenities that your X-wing.
Well, I mean,
I bet it's got a hyperdrive, just like every other,
Yeah.
just like the medical frigate that needed one.
I'm saying that
That still bugs me. Sorry.
it's Return of the Jedi.
Well, it's not like it's an ambulance where if you have to get to the hospital quickly, they're a medical. They're their own facility.
got a
Where
little
do
red
they need to
light.
go?
spinning on top of it.
It's got medical frigate written backwards,
Shows-
on the
It's
front.
on the front.
It shows the rebellion had a lot of faith in itself.
Right.
We're gonna need an entire a whole ship just devoted.
And that's what Ryan and
Nothing
I were
but
talking.
those.
Not to get on the Star Wars, thing, but that's what I was telling Ryan about. That's what made the Falcon so special in A New Hope was because it had a hyperdrive. By the time you get to Return of the Jedi, every single ship has hyperdrive.
That's true.
Well,
We were talking about how
Except for
the-
the
except for
snow
TIE, except for
speeder.
TIE fighters.
yeah, they don't have hyperdrives.
Ship two. How does a ship that small get
But
out?
that's in the New Hope.
Well, it doesn't say that the regular TIE fighters have them at any other point.
It doesn't.
That looks really. So it's not just the ships though. There's
Yeah, it's
I saw like
everything.
rooms and things.
Yeah, the Emperor's throne room. You know, the cantina.
Whoa,
the
you skipped
Falcon.
right past the pod race.
Go on. That reminds me too. Does it have like a? Is it just ships or does it include droids?
Yeah, R2's in it. And C-3PO.
Because
I've seen it.
there's that website. Did I tell you about that website I found, the astromech.com, which
Oh,
everyone
yeah,
else
yeah.
probably knows about? I seriously want to build my own R2 unit.
I'm telling you.
But I've
we
recently-
have the
I've-
tools.
I've recently found out through trying to change my daughter's battery in her
Ooh.
iPod, I should not be on any type of assembly line. So if it's like a snap tight kit, I'm
The
good.
official website of the R2D2 Builders Club.
You have to be a member to get the blueprints, though, Mike.
There's
Oh,
a,
I
s-
can't
there's
even
a
log
sand
in?
crawler.
Sandcrawlers are cool.
Yeah.
It's powered by steam. Because if you're on a planet, you find the most precious resource, and that becomes your fuel.
I just
So
always
on Tatooine, it's water.
found it odd how George Lucas paired things like Jawas and a sandcrawler, like little Jawas with that humongous sandcrawler,
They're
or having I know, but also having speeder bikes on Endor where you can run into a tree at any time. You
That's
know, it's
pretty
just-
neat. It shows the photo of them, how they're doing the sandcrawler, the full model, like the miniature model, making it look big, of them filming it.
That's cool.
So
Yeah.
that's pretty nifty.
Hey,
There's all the
that one's got a bad motivator.
yeah,
Huh.
it does. There's
How did you
R2.
not see that?
There's R2. So
Does it have measurements?
Does it have Tashi Station?
I don't know. I don't know. That'd
What
be
was that
interesting.
picture about power converters?
It's not going to have Tashi Station. They never built it.
Yeah, they did. It's a deleted scene.
Is it?
Yeah. Luke walks
Oh,
into
that's
it.
right.
and-
Where he goes and meets Biggs.
Big-
And to be honest with you, that's the best dialogue in that whole movie is between Biggs and Luke in that scene.
Yeah.
Because
They-
Biggs is kind of breaking down how he's going to jump ship and go join the rebellion and all that stuff.
Nope, no
Oh, yeah, I'll
Tashi
watch that.
Station. No Tashi Station.
That's a bummer.
That's kind of like the deleted scene in Return of the Jedi of Moff Jerajad, where Emperor gives him the command to blow up. Was it Endor? If
Yeah.
push comes to shove, and he's like debating on whether he should actually do it because he's going to
Yeah.
kill all of the Imperials down there as well. So
Yeah.
it was a good scene. Anyway, the blueprints,
Those are
So-
very cool books.
very cool. We can peruse them more later.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What else we do over break? What else we do? What else we want to talk about? What else is new?
I got a drone. So do you.
Yeah, we got drones for Christmas.
I got a big one. Mine's down there.
His is bigger than mine. He's overcompensating.
Just a
No.
little bit. Mine has a camera on it.
Did you see that they just developed a drone that can hold a person?
It's called a jetpack.
No, I would have called it like a helicopter. It's a quad rotor.
Yeah.
So
Do you wear a parachute when you're using it?
I would hope
assume.
so, but
How high do you go?
I don't know how high it can
How
go.
fast do you go?
I don't know how
Mine
fast
can
it
go
can go.
like
is
a
it
hun-
remote controlled or is it thought controlled?
Mine can go like
thought controlled.
Mine can go like 120 feet.
I thought
In
you
the
were
air?
gonna say, I thought you were going to say
Yeah.
miles
Really?
per hour.
Yeah, I got it super high when I was able to get outside. It's been so nasty.
Are you going to join the Muncie area?
No,
Whatever.
no. Ryan's a much better pilot than I am, and I love the. I have a.
I can bullseye one for
I knew that was I knew that was coming.
But mine has a camera on it, and it's got video, and the video, man, it's a cheaper
Yeah.
camera, and the video is like.
Yeah.
It's so loud, like it's just like it sounds like a mic shoved in a vacuum cleaner kind of thing. Like the whole time it's playing, like it's pretty funny. But I think it's fun to bring it up and take some shots and some pictures and stuff like that, and saves on a little micro SD card. You get
Yeah.
about 15-20 minutes out of a flight, but mine
Yeah.
takes 3 hours to charge.
I get about
It's like the old RC cars, remember?
7 or 8 minutes of strong connection, but mine only takes 15 minutes to charge. So
Yeah. So
we had a good time. I
Just
fly
keep it
mine
there.
through the house all the time. I chase the kids with it.
I try, but
I'm
mine's too big.
terrified that because at one time I'd get it like over the bed or like my bed and the bigger bed in the house or whatever, and the kids got on the bed and they were jumping, and I was like be bobbing the thing around. I'm like, might clip him in the eyeball or something. I'm sure it'll be okay. But then like my daughter's hair come up just enough, and I was like, oh, that's going to be bad. I like nosedive the thing into the wall just to keep, because I just imagine like her hair getting immediately like twirled into 100, into those propellers and not gonna. I've hit both kids with it several times. They're fine. It's a very small one, and
I've hit Jonah with mine.
well,
He's okay. It landed down on him like as it was dying, like it came down on him, but he's all right. It weighs nothing.
It's fun. It's fun. It makes me want to get, not to tie this back to Star Wars, it makes me want to get the Millennium Falcon quadcopter.
Yeah.
Really
That'd
bad.
be pretty cool. If I was gonna buy a Star Wars toy though, I think I would go, because that's $100. I would get the BB-8 Sphero. If I was gonna spend that much money on a Star Wars toy like that, that's what I would buy. Between the remote control things.
If I wanted to buy a Sphero, I would just buy a Sphero. I don't think I'd buy the BB-8 one, just mainly because a lot of people online are now talking about how the head doesn't stay. The head doesn't
take
stay.
the head off.
I know, but then you have a regular Sphero, but you're paying
you
like
can still make it
$40
look
extra
like-
dollars. Well, yeah, I guess you're right.
It still looks like
Sorry.
an awesome
You're right.
BB-8 droid.
You're right.
I know.
sorry.
He's like, yeah, I know I'm right.
I got a Star Wars shirt. I got 2 Star Wars shirts.
Did you get any good for Christmas stuff?
Yeah, it was pretty cool actually. I felt like I was 12 again because I got a Star Wars poster.
Is it Ray? Did you hang it over your bed?
I haven't opened it yet. To be honest with you, I think it's just the regular.
For those of you guys that don't know, Doug gets a lot of Star Wars merchandise that he doesn't open, but we can talk about that in a little bit if you want.
And I got a pretty cool shirt. It's it says "Visit Tatooine" at the top, and it's a graphic. I mean, it's it's Luke's homestead. But the coolest part about it is over to the side, half buried in the sand, is a skeleton. So I don't know if it's Owen or Baru. They didn't have both.
It's supposed to look
one.
like a postcard, didn't it? Like
Yeah.
like a come visit us.
But it's
here
just funny
thing.
because just the random skeleton that's there, And
You can't blame yourself. You'd be dead too now if you were there, and the droids would be in the hand of the Empire.
True dat.
Yeah,
That's true.
True dat. But yeah, and
Well,
just
that's
some
cool.
little stuff here.
Well,
we focus more on the kids stuff.
well,
you know,
and
just-
that's honestly like people, lesser people than me or greater people than I are always like, it's just fun to see the kids unwrap stuff.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's okay. I guess it's all right. Every time I
it's
see
not.
it,
It's not fun wrapping the crap at 3 in the morning.
and it's
Yeah.
like cha-ching, 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 cha-ching every time something else gets unwrapped, and it doesn't get the reaction that I. What am I hoping for? Some immediate like intrinsic reaction of this is the greatest thing ever, and I will never be
You're
unsatisfied.
But, you know,
you
I
want the Nintendo 64 kid, like
Yeah.
Yeah, but
like
I mean,
he's grabbing it.
With my son still being 4, I could buy him 20 Matchbox cars or Hot Wheels cars, and he thinks he's in heaven. Because
Yeah.
he didn't have that expensive taste yet.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
anything cars, Disney cars, or Star Wars action figures and stuff like that. Even going to Five Below, I can buy all that stuff for him. He just
Oh yeah.
Flips
loves
his
it.
lid.
They have a whole Star Wars aisle in
Yeah.
there that's just a bunch of dirt cheap stuff. It's actually pretty nice. I'd go in there and grab some of it. That's where I got my decal. Where we got my which one do I have on here? The Stormtrooper.
Stormtrooper.
Yeah. I got a Stormtrooper and then Millennium Falcon on the car. They were only a couple bucks.
Cool.
Yeah. Awesome.
Mike, you got your drone? Did you get anything else you want to share?
I got Ticket to Ride, the board game.
Oh, I have it over here.
It's
Right here.
awesome. I love that game.
Mike and I have played it.
I'm so happy I got it. Like, it is a terribly, terribly fun game. Like, it is just like I
It's
played it
easy to
so
learn.
much. It's easy to learn. It's quick. If you're playing with people that are paying attention, it's quick to play, really, and it really is a strategy game. I mean, it's pretty cool. So, do you know what the game is by any chance? Like, it's a board and it's got a bunch of different connecting cities on it with different train routes. And then what happens is that you have cards in front of you that have different colored train cars. And so one of the connections might be all blue, and you have to get 6 blue cards to be able to lay your train there. And then you have train connections that show, if you have to make a connection from like Los Angeles to Denver. So you want to make that connection, but then other people are also trying to make their connections through there too.
Whoop,
And then there's
whoop.
and you get more points for longer connections and stuff like that. It's
So it's basically reflecting how the railroad companies really were back in the day, trying to get theirs done first.
true. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very much in that, and it's cutthroat. And it's just if you can sort of, I think if you play with a lot of people who you play with a group of people who have played it,
Yeah.
I think it introduces a whole brand new meta of being like, wait a minute, he's trying to go to Seattle. He's going Maine to Seattle. He's going to try to go through the Dakotas. So even if I just take that one track, that might stop him, and he's going to lose like 20 points at the end because he's not going to make that connection.
That sounds like a cool game.
It is. It's really fun. It's got a lot of cool.
So you all
features
need to
like
be
that.
sitting around with like jackets and vests and big cigars while you're
A monocle.
yeah, a monocle, big mustache.
Your
Yeah.
pocket watch.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I cannot play today.
But
I
there's
will
a
be late
bunch
for the
of
train.
there's a bunch of different versions of the game. There's an expansion for that has more train connections, and it comes with bigger cards because that's the one problem. All the cards are not like they're about I would say 2/3 the size of a regular playing card, so they're like hard. You get a bunch of them in your hand, and they're super hard to hold on to. The expansion comes with the cards are actually bigger.
I
Mhm.
don't know if my hands are just different, but I didn't encounter the same issues he encountered with holding the cards. I thought it was okay.
I think they're small. It's I think it's difficult to hold. But then they have different maps. They have like Europe. They have Africa. What other ones?
It's Russia, but it's just one train line all the way across.
Yeah. They've got a bunch of different maps. that are
And
pretty
the
cool
tracks
to
are
play.
people.
The tracks are.
They're people.
I was trying to figure out what I was going to do to go there, but
Do you get to choose like your
You don't-
slave
you-
labor,
I was
like
gonna
what
say-
type of
You
slave
did
labor
get
you
you
want?
did get to choose what train
He's
collars
using
you
the
are.
Chinese.
So I guess you could do that. I'm not going to decide
Plus
what color
2 to
would be what
productivity.
racial stereotype, but I mean you can get that in your own head there. But
Mhm.
you've destroyed what was once
Oh.
a much loved game.
Oh no, he just played Indian slaughter card plus 3 to
well, what's
production through the Dakotas.
Dakotas, yeah.
what's nice about that game
Don't
though
laugh.
is
Don't laugh
that
afterwards.
the game
That's what
is
makes it bad.
the game scales so you can play 2 players. There's some things that change on the board, like there are certain routes that have 2 lines running beside each other, but if you play 2 or 3 players, that's only 1 line, so you can't play both of them. So it's easier to scale the game up and down. So the nice thing is me and my wife
you
can
ever-
play it.
Have you ever held a
Just
board
us.
game?
Like I got Sellers of Catan last year, and I've been wanting to play it for a long time, but I haven't had enough people to play it because it's an intricate game. I like Catan, but it's just there's a lot to go into it, and it's
each-
not a game that kids
Are
can
each
play.
one of these little
My son actually got Catan Jr. and we've been playing that a lot.
are each
It's
one of
a lot
those little
fun.
segments a piece
It's
you
a
have to
it's a card. You have to have the associated card of that color.
So if it's a colored train track, you have to match the color to it. If it's gray, you can just do whatever set. So if it's a gray spot, I have 4 yellows and there's
Pinks or
4
Okay.
4 whatever. You can just
Okay.
put those on there. So it's fun. I've been wanting it for a while now, so I was happy that the wife got it for me. So
Looks cool.
It is
what
fun.
else I got? I got a
Socks.
yeah, I got a bunch of socks. I got some Star Wars socks. I think I actually have them on there. Yeah, my Stormtrooper socks. But when they stretch out across my calf, doesn't look like a Stormtrooper.
It
anymore.
looks more like the stormtroopers from Angry Pigs.
No, you know
or
what it
from
looks like?
Angry Birds.
Have you ever seen the shots of like a Debelic being like embryo?
Yeah.
Yeah, when
Huh.
it's like the face is forming. Yeah, that's kind of what it looks like. I was
It's
thinking
terrible.
about that this
It's
morning.
terrible.
That's what it looks like. It's all stretched out.
When the eyes are still on the side of our heads
Yeah.
before they start to move.
Speaking of our holiday show,
Did
talking
we?
about Justin Bieber.
oh yeah. So
I got a
hold on. You're gonna have to.
I got a Bieber poster.
Oh, you're
the
gonna.
the wife got me a Bieber
You're
poster.
belieber.
yeah.
What does they call that? Is it
yeah.
believer?
She got me a Bieber poster, so it's right over there. I haven't hung it up yet. I'm trying to decide where I'm going to put it. Probably in the garage. But
Garage or garbage?
Wait, you're gonna hang it up?
she told me I had to. So if I don't, she's going to find it.
Did you lose a bet?
No. She just got it. So
Put it on the back side of your bedroom door, or like hanging over the bed on her side.
put it inside the closet door.
Yeah, yeah. Wait till she goes to open it and it's just there. It'd be funny.
Hang it in this
It's a
shower.
little jarring.
I feel like, and I posted this on the Facebook page on the Brotherhood site on the Facebook Facebook.com/Buffalo Brotherhood. If you don't follow it, please do. If you don't like that page, please do. I put a picture on there of all my component parts. I'm finally 9 months later from the original goal. I've finally got all the pieces to build my computer, and I'm building a beast of a computer. I feel like at least a okay computer. I'm going to call it a beast because it's mine, but I'm pretty excited about it and what it brings to the show.
It is a very good. It is not a.
It's not a
beginner's
water-cooled
gaming rig. It is an intermediate gaming rig.
Yeah, it's not a water cooled. i9. Is there an i9 now?
Was it the TI 970s?
It's not a TI 9. It's just it's a nice gaming rig. It's going to basically do a lot for the shows, and I'm going to be able to do more with the YouTube side of things when it comes to the episodes. And I was working with some publisher stuff before the previous computer crashed. I'll be able to go back to doing some of that stuff and producing our individual slides for the episodes, and then just do some more content creation. Then I'll be able to put on the Buffalo Brotherhood page. I'm pretty excited about.
Build it.
Yeah, and that's fun too. The last time I built a computer,
right,
was the year before you and I lived together.
2002.
So you're talking 14 years ago?
Are you taking? Is this really the best time for you to build that computer? Well, WoW came out then, because I remember that room smelled really bad when you built that last computer.
I'm a big guy.
Yeah, a big guy that didn't step away from that computer other to get a drink and maybe a snack.
Trust me, I wasn't losing weight. I was still consuming calories there too. Yeah, but that wasn't that computer anyway. That was when I had borrowed, like Alicia had asked me to fix her computer.
Oh yeah,
because my sister-in-law, who
I forgot about that.
Thankfully doesn't listen to the show. She had got like a Dell or something from her computer for some reason or another, and she had forgotten her password to get into her Windows account, and was like she couldn't figure out how to do it. The computer was a brick to her or whatever. She dropped it off at the house.
And gave it to you.
And asked me to fix it. Which honestly, I know. I'm not real good at fixing things. If you haven't figured that out from the context that they're giggling. But seriously, like we Googled, it was like reboot in safe mode, and then you can change the password to whatever you want.
Right.
We fixed it in like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
I had that thing for like 4 months because every time she would call, I'd be like, I haven't really figured it out yet. I haven't figured it. WASD. Hold on. I have to. My
AFK. What? What do you want?
No,
I'm on the phone. What?
I can't use the computer. I haven't fixed it yet. Finally, like her and her husband, who's my brother, just like showed up one day. And they were like, "You're using the computer." I was like, "I fixed it," and then they like took it.
You got here right in time.
But then I built the computer shortly after that.
Yeah.
And
that was a while ago.
What's this World of Warcraft?
Yeah. I got married and eventually it stopped. That's pretty much what happened.
It didn't stop after he got married. It took a while.
No, really it did. That's when I stopped. Is when we got married. Because I played a little bit when we still lived on Nichols, which is a street here in our town. And then when we bought the house out here, I had it for maybe like 4 months, but then Noah was born. So
yeah.
You
and millions of other players.
Yeah, we all stopped.
I haven't.
There was a billion of us at one time.
What I like is that I haven't set a processor in so long because I'm a junk dealer when it comes to computers. Like the PC that I'm running now was already halfway put together, and
he's the Watto.
I've parted the
PC.
pretty much only money. But I piece everything together so I don't have to set processors because I just keep the processor and the board and switch it out, and so. That's one thing that I don't get to do very often, and it's changed so much since the last time I've done it. So,
and I'm kind of excited just because I have gone through and watched a lot of tutorials on how to build things.
Yeah,
they're a lot easier.
Well,
yeah, they're super easy now. Yeah.
Well, none of that should ever happen. As far as
everything
I've read right now.
I can't wait. I kind of.
Are you gonna build it yourself?
I kind of want him to. I kind of want to videotape it because I can just imagine him like, no, don't. I can. So do I pick it up now or do I?
Well, it's because like I even like texted him. I was like, I texted her on the phone with him or whatever, and I was like, I just saw this thing about this guy that had a static electricity thing he wore on his wrist.
And I said, don't make me wear one of those.
He connected it to a ground. should I get one of those? And Mikey was like, no. And I was like, but if a static discharges on the underside of my motherboard, the whole thing can be fried. He was like, it's not going to. You'll be. And I was like, well, I did see the thing where if I just keep touching the inside of inside of my computer case, I will keep myself grounded. We'll be
You're
okay.
gonna be rubbing your feet with wool socks on
That's
shag
what I was gonna.
carpet the whole
That's
time?
exactly what I was gonna say.
I'm putting my computer together.
This is fun.
Come here, dog. Rub up against me.
Anybody got a balloon?
I mean, you got to think it's going to take once you get because we'll get the motherboard out, we'll set the processor, we'll put the fan on, we'll put the RAM in,
graphics card. Or
and
wait till it's in the case.
we'll put it in the case then, and then we'll put the graphics card in. We're done touching it. I mean, other than wiring up some LEDs and stuff like that, you're done.
I'm excited.
I mean that, and then popping on some hard drives. Your 2 hard drives that you got, the solid state.
I was messing with the case. It is. I mean,
Quit messing with stuff. You're gonna break something before we even get it together.
but I really like how the computer case. It all looks like a server rack. It's like they all slide out, and you can put a hard drive in it, and you slide it right back in. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I was like, that's new. I mean, things have changed in the last 16
for a man
years.
that will not upgrade this thing for another 10 years.
No,
so.
my goal is essentially try to invest a couple $100 every year, and never get myself in a situation where
Yeah,
everything is too old and too rotten and too
that's a good idea.
out of whack. And then if I need to skip a year and save like $400 and then buy like the new processor for that time, then
Your next purchase, because I'm gonna make fun of you until you do it, just the way I did with Doug, is a monitor.
it's in the works. It's basically
Doug, let me tell Doug the story about Doug. Doug bought this. I mean, talk about a gaming rig. He built a gaming rig. I mean, it is a beast of a machine, and he's playing on this just like old
14-inch
VGA, like tiny little monitor, like, and he's like sitting there like right in front of it, like no big deal. I'm like, I said that's like building a NASCAR and taking out for Sunday drives. like that's all you're doing with it. Like, buy a damn monitor, man. And so then he goes crazy and he buys a monitor that doesn't even fit into his desk. It's like what, a 27, 24?
27. It's either 27 or 28.
Something like that. And now he has to set about this far from it. So really, I mean, when you think about it, he's seeing the same amount of screen because it's so close to his face.
My
But,
question is why do you feel like you need VR when it's like every part of your peripheral vision is still covered by
Like
that monitor?
I've told him, like, the way his desk is set up, we really have to take a sawzall to his desk to take off part of it so his monitor can scoop
Yeah.
back.
No, I'm fine. I usually am sitting back
fine.
anyway. I know I haven't been playing a lot of games lately, so
Yeah.
I've been mainly just watching, YouTube videos. and
Alex
stuff
Jones documentaries.
No, I haven't done that in a long time. So just a lot of YouTube stuff and Netflix. So I watched that Making a Murderer this week.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
yeah,
that's
we
a-
need to
Yeah,
talk
that's a
about
big.
that.
That's a big.
That's a
big
big
deal right
Have
now.
you
in the
watched it?
news. I haven't watched it, but I've been hearing tons about it. Very
Okay,
controversial.
so here's the
right?
thing. Here's the thing.
Why don't you explain what it is,
Well,
Ryan?
okay, so it's a Netflix documentary that come out. There's like 12 episodes within it, and
Yes.
it has an Indiana connection, does it not?
No. There was
There-
a guy
Wisconsin.
who
I know,
covered.
but-
he worked at a news station.
Oh,
covering
okay,
it.
all right, that's what I
You're
read.
thinking about Buffalo Bill.
Oh yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Ed Gein. I'm thinking of Ed Gein. I turned it on and watched probably the first half of the first episode, like when it was released, because
Yeah.
I don't go to bed till like midnight most nights anyway.
Right.
My family's in bed at 10 and 1 a.m. or something. I'm always looking for either content on YouTube or Netflix to watch. So I saw it was just released. I watched like the first half of the first episode, and I honestly was like not impressed. I was like,
What?
this is dumb. Like this is.
Dude,
So then like
Really?
I turned
I
it off. Have you watched it?
I want to
I watched
break
it all.
I want to break my TV after every episode. I'm so mad.
Okay, so I watched the first. I turned it off and watched like another UFO conspiracy documentary on Netflix.
Nephilim.
And then like days go by, and then like the swelling of people, the like the public outpouring starts coming up. And this is I love my wife, but that's how she operates. Nothing gets in her zeitgeist until Facebook tells her enough that it's important, and then she's interested, and then it's like end of the world interested. Four of my friends, including Doug Hyatt, has said I need to watch the show. How come you're not watching the show? And her sister was in town from Chicago, and her sister was telling her how good it was, and all this. And I was like, and her sister said, "Have you watched Making Murder?" And before I even realized it was becoming a thing, I was like, "Yeah, I turned it on, but it was dumb, and I was not what I was expecting." And I thought it was going to be. I thought I was signing on for one show, so when I saw like 12, that's a lot of buy-in for me. So I was signing up for one evening, and I just sort of was like, it wasn't interesting. And then her sister agreed. Her sister was like, "Yeah, we started it too, and we didn't like it either, and we stopped it." And that was kind of the end of the
I
conversation.
really liked it.
But then every night, this is what happens at my house. Every night, the kids are in bed. What do you want to do? And I'm like, "Well, you know what I want to do." And she's like, "We're not doing that. What else do you want to do?" And she says, "Well, I would watch Making a Murderer, but since you started it without me, I guess I can't."
Rewatch it.
And I'm always like, I'm watching my phone anyway. You can watch whatever you want. I don't care. You're good. You can start it. You can start it. And so thank you, Doug. Honestly, the noise was I could drown out the noise until you posted on Facebook.
It's good. You need to watch it.
You need to watch it because then it's like, Doug Hyatt watched it, and he's your friend. Don't you want to watch it because your friend said to watch it?
I'll post something tonight to say.
Have you not watched it yet?
I would assume
I
that
haven't.
Sarah would tell her
watched
to
it?
watch it too.
Probably, but I think
It is.
I think right now they're kind of two ships crossing in the night when it comes to.
But there's this big hubbub of people that's wanting this guy pardoned, right?
If
right.
you watch it, you'll know why.
I mean, supposedly
it's
there's
only one side of the
supposedly
story.
there's all this other evidence that is present. Like to me, there's two characters in it. There's the guy and then his nephew. The more sympathetic character to me was his nephew, way more than him, because he's like this.
He's mentally retarded.
He reminds me of a lot of
like,
YOC.
truly, like
He reminds me of-
Truly, like the kid.
He's not retarded. He's low. He's lower function.
Lower
functioning.
He's like a lot of YOC kids, is what he reminded me. Well, I take that back. Kind of how some of them lower functioning acted, but only the kid had never been in trouble at all, ever.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and
More like smiles and nods.
And the thing is the some of the representatives of the state were so skeezy. Like as soon as they came on, you're just like,
you don't
like
them at all.
I don't want to give really much
The
away,
defender
but
of the kid.
the kid this kid gets a public defender because they got no money. You know, they're poor, so
Hello? Yeah?
yeah.
Yeah? That's how he always talks to his mom. Hello? Yeah?
This public
Yeah?
defender that's assigned to the kid, he looks like who's the guy in Fargo that kills the actor?
I wouldn't know anyway.
He's
Steve Buscemi.
No.
No,
Have you everybody
yeah,
seen Fargo?
yes.
William H. Macy. Okay.
He
looks
like him.
looks like him, only skeezier.
Yeah.
And he even kind of reminds me of that character a little bit. But when he's first introduced, he had just lost an election.
Spoiler on the Fargo, by the way.
He just lost an election.
20-year-old movie.
Yeah. And got for some position, and he got assigned to this case. You can clearly tell the guy is trying to set the kid up to get him to go along with the prosecution, because I guarantee
of the other person.
Yeah, the other person. So it can bolster, I'm sure, his political career.
It is.
So the way that they paint it, the guys are the whole trial. You can't believe that they were ever convicted. Now, supposedly, there's all this other information that came out and they say that it doesn't paint an equal picture of what actually happened. All I have to say is, if whatever that other evidence is, and I haven't looked at it, it would have to be monumental for you to want to convict. So whatever it is that they have, it would have to be absolutely astounding.
The one thing you're not giving away is if you give the backstory of the main guy, Stephen Avery. He gets convicted of rape in like 1985 or something like that. Spends 18 years in prison.
I heard about that.
Come to find out,
exonerated.
there's this DNA test,
and the whole time,
and it turns out to be this other guy, which everyone else kind of thought did it anyways, kind of thing. Like it comes up, and everyone's like, "Oh, well, that guy should have been the person we should have been pursuing in the first place. So that happens, and then there's all this stuff that goes behind the that story where there's this bill passed in the state of Wisconsin called the Avery Bill and all this stuff.
And he's getting ready to have a civil suit where he's going to win millions of dollars.
$36 million
from the local county. Well, no, it wasn't going to be the local county because the insurance company said that the conduct of the individuals involved would not qualify them for insurance. So it was going to go to the personal liability of the sheriff and deputies and different people. And then lo and behold, this girl vanishes, and
it just so happens that she
was at his
house, and he was the last person that saw her.
So basically, he's the White Hurricane.
I don't know what that
El
means.
Nino?
The Hurricane?
Oh, okay.
The
boxer
the
who was wrongfully
okay.
convicted?
I heard White Hurricane. I'm like, I don't know what a White Hurricane is.
I was like, I'm sorry, Doug. It's called a White Russian. And nobody's drinking
but
it.
yes, kind of. Yeah, but it's really, really good because they do such a good job in the documentary of making you hate everyone.
Well, and
that.
one of the skeezy prosecutors actually ended up being involved in a sexual harassment suit
I don't
later.
think I'm not that far.
So there's a little bit of poetic justice there, but
All right, stop talking about it.
But there's
I
so
feel-
many points.
I feel
There's
like
one
you're
more
gonna
thing.
start spoiling
I'm not going to
stuff.
spoil anything, but there's so many points in it where you like something will come up. You're like, man, he might have done it. Like, and then like 10 minutes later, something else comes up. You're like, oh, why did I even?
There's no
think
way he
there's
could have
no
done this.
way, man, because now they're showing us this.
my
Like,
whole thing was when
couldn't
it
be
came down
written
to
better.
it is that guy, the Stephen Avery, reminded me of a grow up YOC kid, a grown up YOC
Why are you pointing
kid.
at me?
Because we worked
Oh,
there.
oh,
You know
okay.
the type of
All
kids
right.
I was talking about. And for him to do what they said, the dude does not have the mental capacity to pull off
right.
what they said he pulled. He just does. I don't care. Any reasonable person, there's no way that he would have had to do
Are you talking
to
about
get a-
Avery? Or you're talking about the
Avery.
Kid?
Both of them.
Oh, okay.
Both of them,
Okay.
especially his nephew. So all I have to
All right,
say
I will
is
watch
you
it.
need to watch it.
I will watch
It is
it.
really,
Here-
That
really
sounds
good.
interesting. I
Here-
want to see
now,
it.
now I'm incredibly frustrated though because here's what's going to happen. Fast forward my life for the next 9 months. My wife will be infuriated at
9
Wisconsin government officials, and I'll have to hear about it. How did they do that to that guy? How did they do that? Listen, Chet, we need to drive to Wisconsin.
I get it every night when we watch it, man.
But yeah, there is a big
But
movement.
I feel
though.
like your wife was going to let it go.
She's like, why isn't there like court appointed people to take care of like certain things like CASAs and all this stuff? I'm like, you need to calm down. This has already
Well,
happened.
they went through.
Like-
they
You need to calm down. You need to take it down a notch.
She's yelling at
What
me.
they're
and I'm
claiming.
Like, look, calm down.
What the other side claims is that basically this documentary started as somebody local just making a video to try to explain what was going on that he was going to use in his defense,
Yeah.
and somehow these two people found out about it,
Oh yeah.
and then Netflix got involved, and then it became
then they couldn't get squashed at that
You know
point.
what? You know what it reminds me of? And another really good documentary like this. There's 3 documentaries that were done on it. Is the West Memphis 3? If you
Yeah,
ever watched
no,
any of
I
that
no.
stuff.
hadn't seen that.
If
one
you ever
yet.
seen any of those,
Oh, I can't even. That breaks my heart.
then
every
you
time
should
watch
watch this. It's the same. It's kind of the same situation.
Oh,
Let's put it that
no.
way. Like, you know that there's a lot of bad things that happen in that,
No.
but it's the same kind of idea. I mean,
Is that the one that Peter Jackson did?
no,
I don't think
I don't
Peter
think he
Jackson
was
did.
involved. He might have backed them at certain because the West Memphis 3 basically they got a lot of backing from like rock musicians and stuff like that.
I think
there was all this
I think
support
he may
behind
have.
them to get them freed, and they ended up getting freed on this like guilty but not guilty like plea, some weird plea that they had to give, basically saying they did it but they're getting time served or something
Well,
like that.
they no. What it was the plea that said that they get it and they understood and they didn't hold the state responsible for their incart. So basically, we will let you out as long as you cannot sue us
Right.
for wrongfully imprisoning you.
But they still had to plead guilty in it.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. But it was only because if they would have been innocent,
Yeah.
that leaves them open for suing.
But you should watch that because you get that same feeling off one of those
Is that on
kids like the
Netflix?
same.
Please don't.
It's on HBO.
Please
Okay.
don't.
but it's on the
'Cause
HBO.
what hap-
No, I'd wanted to watch it.
What
anyway.
happens to the victims?
It's
like,
terrible. It's
destroys you.
terrible what happens to the victims in it because they're young kid. They're
Yeah.
they're 6-year-old kids, I think.
Yeah.
Like eight or nine, maybe.
8 or 9.
Maybe
Okay, but they're young kids that end up getting killed in that
very
situation.
in a brutal fashion, and
Yeah, it's
It's-
messed up.
I,
But
I had a hard time with it always because the documentary itself for Westminster 3 is constantly trying to divide up sympathy for the guys that were imprisoned. And I understand they're wrongfully imprisoned, and that has come out, and I get that. I don't know if that's a spoiler for that series or not, I guess.
no, it isn't. If you look it up, that's what you get anyways.
But I still don't feel like there's been any justice for those kids.
There hasn't because they let the. Never mind. I don't want to say anymore because I
Okay.
give it away. But you need to watch it.
Have
If
you
like,
watched it?
I haven't watched that one, no.
that one's really good too. It's older. It came out in like the 90s, but the early 90s, I think.
Tears
I
me
thought
up.
there was a new one. There was a newer one.
There's been 3. There's been 3 West Memphis 3 documentaries. There was one
It's
that,
like
that
Paradise.
dated
isn't
originally.
like
Paradise Lost,
Paradise Lost,
That's what's-
Paradise Returned, Paradise.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's 3 different documentaries on it, and it is really, really good. It's
Well, what's the other one?
Paradise Awakens. No, I'm just-
You said there's 3.
Paradise Lost. Just look
Oh,
at
you mean
Paradise
3
Lost.
just for that?
There's 3 parts that came out like years apart from each other.
Because the first one comes out and just sort of the first one lays the groundwork and you sort of leave with like you're not sure. The second one, like everything is percolated a long time and they're trying
there's a
to
new
Oh,
trial. The
there's a
They
new
did
trial.
do one. It's called West of Memphis. Is
no,
the one
that's the movie that they made.
that? Oh,
Isn't that got?
it's a
actors in it?
documentary film,
What's
co-written by Amy Berg and produced by Peter Jackson.
no idea.
So,
the-
yeah.
Did you see they were doing another season of American Crime on TV? I only say that because
Not
Mike
usually.
Clausen
I
was in the
mean,
first one.
usually I don't do like get super big into the
Again,
crime shows.
I only say that because Mike Clausen was a judge in the first one. So I just
Okay,
my old drama teacher was a judge.
cool. Yep, it's exciting.
This is about whether
And weren't his hands or something were in a movie or something?
in Twister. His hands were in Twister,
Yeah,
And-
those were my
and-
hands.
and he was
Sure they are.
Uh-huh.
and he was and he's in.
I
and,
know
and
those
he was in the
cuticles
Oz.
anywhere.
He was in Oz. He was one of the Munchkins in Oz. The one with James Franco.
Oh,
Really?
Oh,
Yeah, he's actually you see him up on the podium there towards during the Oz
Wow.
sequence.
My daughter and I were extras in a movie over the summer that was shot in Warsaw.
Oh, I followed that on Facebook a little bit, but what was that about?
It was a lot of fun. The movie's called Nouvelle Vie, it's French for the new life, and basically it follows the story of when a boy and a girl meet as children, and it kind of follows their lives, just falling in and out of touch with each other and all that kind of stuff. And my daughter, she got to be in a classroom scene, and so she might actually get like some screen time because there's what it was. The lead female character, she's the teacher, and it's like the last day of school or something like that, and a little girl's getting picked up. Well, my daughter and 2 other kids are talking with each other, are talking with that girl, and she has to leave. So it sounds like you're going to be, she's going to be very visible on screen, at least for a few seconds.
that's cool.
Then the part that I was in, I'm just kind of in the background walking, which is fine. I mean, it's cool because my nephew, he wants to be a filmmaker, and as soon as I saw a post for open auditions on Facebook, so we all actually went up there and read 4 parts at the auditions and stuff, and so they got our email addresses, and they contacted us later saying, we need extras for these scenes, and if you're between these ages, come out if you want to be in it and stuff. So we did, and I mean, it was a lot of fun. The director's really cool. Got to talk to him for a little bit, but just be on set of a movie and just make some contacts, which I did because I've written scripts before. So anytime I can meet anybody affiliated, with the movie industry, I'm going to go for it.
But those scripts have to be canon now to be able to made into the universe.
That's true. Good point.
Oh, did I catch?
But I'm just thinking,
Did I call you out? They are Star Wars
no,
scripts.
they're not. But I mean, a movie being shot in Warsaw.
Yeah,
That's about as close as you're going to get. So I'm like, well, heck yeah, I'll go up there.
that's good. Any reason why they shot it in Warsaw?
I don't know
Was
if
there
the,
a
dir- I
set
think
piece or something?
well, I
from
think the
there?
director has ties to Warsaw in some fashion. I don't know if he grew up there. Drew Peters, I think is his name. He was in.
We try to keep it
He was
PG.
either. I can't remember if he was in the TV series or the movie Friday Night Lights, but he's affiliated with one of those, either the TV series or the movie.
Either one is phenomenal.
But he's the director for that.
That's cool. And do you still get emails from them at all, being like, just get you updated where the movie's at? Or
No, I just follow their posts on Facebook. They're in obviously post production. They're predicting it'll come out in the fall.
What do you?
what?
year.
What are you laughing at?
Did you type in Drew Peters?
Because if so, don't click image.
The IMDb filmography of Drew Peters. Oh my goodness! One of the movies is Butthole Buffet.
Maybe that's not the same. Maybe it's not the same guy.
Don't read anymore.
Read.
No. And it's been
I'm
an hour,
sorry.
ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us this week.
Butthole Buffet 2.
Just no, just the first one.
He
Oh
did-
my
Actor or
goodness.
director?
he didn't get,
Actor.
he didn't get cast
Actor.
for Buffet 2.
Oh
More
my
all you can
goodness.
eat.
I could be wrong about his last. I know his first name is Drew.
Did he
I feel
play? Did
stupid
he
now 'cause I
play?
can't-
The
No, there's
There's-
got to be more. There's got to be other guys.
I think if I was a movie actor and I was thinking like I need a name, like a stage name, I'd probably Google anything I was thinking of before I committed, you know? Before I practiced that as my signature.
well, what's the synopsis of Butthole
No!
Buffet?
So you can follow us at
Is
facebook.com/Buffalo
Jack Forkheimer
Brother.
in Butthole
Jack
Buffet?
Horkheimer.
Some people.
Hustle cars.
Stop! You're gonna ruin that for me.
Some people hustle butthole.
Are we done?
We're done, I think. I was kind of, I didn't know if we were going to get the real name, but I feel like this was a really good last half of the show. I really feel like that, you know? It was a good
Last
show.
half?
But I think we could almost talk about Making a Murderer and,
In Butthole Buffet.
well, maybe not that far into it. More. So let's go back next week and do that some more.
Oh,
Should we?
This has been the night of like truncated sentences.
I'm so glad you guys could join us for our first show of 2016. This has been Buffalo Brotherhood's weekly podcast, the BOBcast. You can follow us on Facebook.com/Buffalo Brotherhood. Facebook.com/Buffalo Brotherhood. You can follow me on Twitter at Wait, not me on Twitter. You can follow Mike on Twitter at FooMan2, 2 O's, 2 N's, and the number 2. You can follow me on Twitter at BuffaloCast. You can follow the show on Twitter at BobcastNation. Follow Doug on Twitter at RefriedEvil. Do you tweet, Doug? No tweeting on Doug. Don't tweet Doug. It's been a lot
Leave
of fun.
me alone.
Get off my porch.
Go away.
But I'm excited to have this first show in the books, and I'm excited to come back next week and talk about Star Wars. So make sure you come back next week and join us. See you guys. Goodbye from the lodge.
Drew Waters.